All right, well, we found out who your backup quarterback was. What did MJ do to get that spot?
I think what he did was he was probably the most consistent towards the end of camp. And he's been steadily getting better each day. And not that Matt and the rest of them haven't. I think MJ kind of asserted himself a little bit more from a decision-making standpoint. He was a little bit more comfortable, seemed like. And, at the time, I think him and Matt are very close. I just had a feeling that that MJ was the guy to probably go, be the first guy in if something would ever happen to AJ.
You said they didn't know until their name was called. Is that true?
Probably. I like to keep them on edge, man. I tell them all, you prepare to be the starter. You know what I mean? And when your name is called, it's time to go out and perform. And that way, there's never any, well, I'm not going. I want him staying on edge. I want him to be ready to go at a minute's notice.
What did you see from MJ?
I thought he did some good things for his first time. There's some things you'd like to get back, obviously, but there was a lot of positives as well. And MJ can throw the football pretty well. And, he's got to calm down his feet some in the pocket. He's got to learn to trust protection a little bit better at times, learn to get rid of the football a little quicker. But I think overall for his first outing, I thought he had a pretty good showing. And to lead us come from behind again, we start off slow again. We got to get out to a faster start. We're starting way too slow.
What's the approach this week with AJ trying to get back, and how do you kind of approach that with the quarterback?
I just have to wait and see. See how he feels. We're hopeful. Hopeful he comes back, and if he's ready to go, then obviously he's the guy. We have to wait and see how he responds and see if he's 100%.
Would you have put him in the game in the fourth quarter Saturday? Was he physically able, like Rodgers came in last night after his hurt?
Well, he's not quite Aaron Rodgers-esque, but no, we have to. AJ would tell you, yeah, he could have played. We just wanted to make sure, you know what I mean? And he was limping pretty good, and I'd rather have someone full speed than half speed out there, particularly for what we do offensively. So, if you're in a jam and a bind, but you also got to think of student welfare as well. He was injured, and we got to make sure he's healthy.
Did a little bit of that have to do with MJ playing well, moving the ball well?
Well, if MJ wouldn't have played well, then Matt Robinson was coming in, and then if Matt didn't play well, then we'll have to wait and see from there. Is it the next guy, or do you go with Cam? But once again, the doctors, the trainers have got to. I'm not a doctor. Don't claim to be. So they got to give us clearance before we'd ever put him back in. And I know he wanted to go back in, but there's got to be certain protocols, certain levels that we got to follow, just to ensure the kid's safety.
What did you see from Matt as the training camp progressed? Because obviously he started quick.
Yeah, Matt started off like a house of fire and did some really good stuff. I think as things started to add up a little bit, I don't want to say he hit a freshman wall, but he was making some mental errors early on. AJ, or not AJ, but I got all these AJ, MJs. I get them all confused. MJ probably made some better decisions throughout the course of the overall entirety of camp, which I think would kind of helped him a little bit more. But Matt's in my film room just about every day. He studied it. He's doing what he needs to do. And if we had to play tomorrow with Matt Robinson, I'd feel comfortable putting Matt out there as well.
MJ kind of locked him onto his hip, AJ, during training camp. What did you notice about that? Because it seemed like MJ not a lot of freshmen would know to do that with an older guy.
That's a smart move, is what it is. It's good for MJ for being, to recognize and well enough to know that, hey, that guy's the one's getting a lot of reps. I better be listening to what he's doing, not just right, but also doing wrong, so I can learn from his mistakes. I tell all our guys, you need to take mental reps. Everybody wants reps, and I get that. But I can't give everybody reps like they want. I can divvy them up as much as I can, so you got to be able to take mental notes. You got to take mental reps while you're not in there. So that way when your name is called, mentally you're ready to go. That's how you're prepared. That's how you make plays. Obviously, there's things physically you got to go through and you need to do in practice. But mentally, if you're sharp, if you know what you're doing, chances of you being successful are a hell of a lot better than what it is if you're not ready to go.
The Edwin Carter injury, Levy called a significant knee injury, but when you watch that thing, isn't it almost a blessing we're only talking about a knee?
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah, it might be the best catch I've ever witnessed in the present of my life. I mean, in my career, it was unbelievable. He held on to the ball. I was scared he broke his neck.
Yeah.
The way he came down, his neck compressed. I'm like, oh my God, please don't let that be. But knock on wood. Thankfully, we're getting out of it with this, and it's serious enough as it is. But yeah, no doubt. What a catch though! What an absolute catch! And heart goes out for the kid because, he's just been getting better and better each and every day. And he showed it Saturday. He showed some things Saturday that we were all like, wow, we can't wait to have this kid for the next 3 years as well.
It's 3 receivers now that you've lost, and Ricky was banged up again. Who's stepping into the void right now? Who's stepping up?
Yeah, we're snake bit. It seems like a wideout a little bit. We just got to find a way to stay healthy and just keep next man up. It's the same mentality in the quarterback room. It's the same mentality in the wide receiver room. Dominic Stampley, Caleb Reams, those guys. Those guys, Carlos Sandy, got to be ready to step up and give us some not just minutes, but give us some productive minutes, some productive play moving forward.
And I mean, those guys didn't log much the other day. So what do you need to see from them moving forward?
Well, you need to see it in practice. That's the first thing. You need to be consistent in practice. The more consistent you are in practice, the more you'll be playing. That's the bottom line. And you'll probably see some stuff move around because there'll be some things that we may did or did not like in the course of a game that you may start seeing some other guys get some opportunities and moving forward. So the bottom line is you want to play in time, you got to do it in practice. You got to show me in practice.
2 games in, you've pretty much had the same offensive linemen playing a lot. What have you seen from their growth just a couple games in? What's their next step?
Well, we got to continue to get more consistent. There's at times we're decent, and then there's times where we're not on the same page. And that's just the develop. It's a new offense. That's everything. And I think once our guys continue to get more reps, continue to get practice time in it, then we're going to be on the same page a lot better off. And it's just little things now. It's just, one time a tackle pushing out when he shouldn't. It's just little things like that we got to get cleaned up. But a lot of times, like when I watch film with them, you always tell them it's one guy. It's one guy that's causing the play, not the bust, for more than what it really is.
What's an early impression of USF's defense?
Well, they're big, they're strong, they're fast, they're athletic. If you like that kind of player, then you would like them. They're really good. They're the most athletic team we've played so far this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're the most athletic team we play for the most part of the year because they're good.
How much has the game changed in college football since you were there, Rod? Like it seems like USF, the mid-major, if we call it that anymore, Group of 5, is getting better players. Like, have you noticed that?
Well, you know what? That program has been good for many years. Even when I was there, we made the transition from the 1A. I was there during the 1AA years. I was there the very first year we went 1A. From Marquell Blackwell and those guys, and just the transition from there to Conference USA to Big East, and just made the jump. And there's always been talented kids there. There's always been speed there. It's a great program. It's a great place to live, Tampa, Florida. There's not a lot to not like down there, and it's a good recruiting environment for those guys. So I think the football has always been good. I think they got a great staff now as well to take them where they need to go.
What was that stop of your career? Like, what was the biggest step for you in your career? Did you learn there? What was the biggest way you grew?
Oh, that was a huge step in my career because that was the first time as being a true full-time coach. Your first time being a coordinator. Yeah, you learn a lot of things. You make a lot of mistakes. You do some good things. What I took from there was, we was the first staff to get the USF to its first bowl game ever. Get the USF to its first bowl win ever in the second year. The second year we played East Carolina and Skip Holtz in the Papa John's Pizza Bowl. So a lot of the players that still to this day I stay in touch with former players who are now coaches. Marquell Blackwell was at West Virginia, one of my former players. So just a lot of them. That's just one of them. There's tons of them, and tons of family and friends down there that we have to this day. That place is true to my heart, man.